conference in France on Iran regime's human rights abuses. On Tuesday, the Parliamentary Committee for a Democratic Iran held a conference on the appalling human rights situation in Iran and the need to hold the regime accountable for its rights abuses, particularly the 1988 massacre of 30,000 political prisoners. Maryam Rajavi, the President-elect of the National Council of Resistance of Iran, was the keynote speaker of this event. Members of the French National Assembly and prominent political figures also attended the conference. Rajavi urged European countries, particularly France, to recognize the right of the Iranian people for resistance, and said, as the leading country in Europe, France must take the initiative to open the path to democracy in Iran and to support human rights, the Iranian people, and the resistance. This is the only way we can restore peace in the Middle East and bring about stability and democracy. Rajavi continued, the NCRI is capable of replacing this regime and peacefully transferring power to elected representatives of the people of Iran. Our people's resistance and resistance units are prepared to achieve this, and we hope that Europe and France will stand with the Iranian people and their legitimate demands and aspirations. Iran regime prevents political prisoners' transfer to hospital. Iranian prison authorities continue to prevent political prisoner Arash Sadeghi from receiving proper medical treatment in a hospital outside prison. Sadeghi has lost the ability to move his right hand due to an infection on his shoulder that has been left untreated in Raja Shah prison. He needs to receive treatment from a doctor outside the prison, yet Iranian authorities continue to prevent his transfer. In late September, the authorities told Sadeghi that they will take him to a hospital in prison uniform and cuffs on his hands and feet, but Sadeghi refused. Iran issues cruel sentences for religious minority. The Iranian regime's revolutionary court in Semnan province has sentenced 3 members of the Baha'i religious minority to a total of 20 years in jail on national security charges. The Baha'is, Ardesha Fanian, Yalda Ferouzian, and Behnam Eskandarian have been charged with acting against national security through propagation and organized activities and membership in illegal groups acting against national security. According to the verdict, Fanian has been sentenced to 10 years in prison, 1 year ban from presence in Semnan, and 1 year living in exile in the southeastern city of Kash. Iraq uprising continues. Protesters setting government buildings on fire. One day after college and high school students poured into the streets in cities across Iraq, hundreds of people challenged the curfew imposed in Baghdad, and the Iraqi uprising continued with strong momentum. High school students were heard chanting, "No school, no work until this regime is toppled." This second round of massive protests in Iraq was launched on Thursday, October 24, and neither these students nor anyone protesting in cities checkered across central and southern Iraq is taking the warnings issued by government officials seriously. The protesters want an end to Iranian meddling in their country. These demonstrations and clashes between protesters and militia forces supported by the Iranian regime continued into the early morning hours of Wednesday.